Hey man, what's up? Sorry, I feel loose washers on this magnet, so I gotta go out. I just need to get my mom's card. Oh, I guess she needed to talk to me. All right. Hey, what's going on? I just need to get my mom's Mother's Day card. I'm going up to Venice, so let me get that, and I will be right back. Sorry about that, guys. A little delayed. Trying not to rush around. Oh wow, it's already 2 people. Okay. I'm Mo Green. I'm Mo Green. I run this place. Palm Father's in the house. I'll admit Zach makes some awesome thumbnails, but Brandon made made a killer T-shirt, and I'm gonna get it made. Zach, if you want to keep on making them, or I'll reuse them, or whatever, you know. It's funny because the views on this thing boosted 300% because of a logo, not just a picture of someone like some, goofball like myself. So let's get on our way here. That wasn't good. Yeah. So I had to do a yard sale with Ashley for the second time today. Second time this weekend today. Get up at 6, move everything out, and it's none of it's my stuff, so it's kind of like, I did it because that's what I do. I do a favor, and I may not ask to return this favor, but know that I might call you one time. I can't remember the exact words, but it's not I can't really do a good Marlon Brando impression. I can try. I can definitely do it better than I can do a lot of other impressions. This this thing you ask this thing you ask of me. I gotta listen to Marlon Brando. It's been a little while. Hey, Pineapple, the best bet if you can dig it all, like instead of like if it's not an asphalt, 126 hours. That's 5 days, 6 hours. If I'm right. That's how it is. But you know who I am? I'm Mo Green. I made my bones when you were going out with cheerleaders. What's going on, Chris? I had to put out all the signs, wake up everybody in the what's it called, in the neighborhood by bang bang bang. Yeah. Zach, you gotta find a line from like The Godfather. Look up Godfather lines, and I'll try the Godfather lines. I don't really have a good Italian accent, but I'll try. Because that doesn't really mean anything, like in English or Italian. Yeah, I would try. Don't use their bare hands because they're armed. Okay, Zach, because you did that thumbnail. Get your mama mucho pepper. I don't know how many of you watch PewDiePie, but he would like do like top best memes. And there was one that with like it's a Disney meme, and it was like, what? Somebody touch my spaghetti. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It was probably from like a year and a half ago. I don't have my lights on. That's not good. You mean who? Rafia Zamiana? I don't think that's a plant. Somebody touch my spaghetti. You know who PewDiePie is? He's the most subscribed person on the internet. He's like has like 90 million subscribers. Is it really? Rafia is it? You sure it's Zamiana? Yeah. Yeah, man. Dude, do you know how much PewDiePie makes? Like according to like, basically based on his views and his uploads. That dude makes like $3 million a month. It's insane. I mean, I don't know how much of it to disclose. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna get 90 million people involved in Palms though. I mean, I can always try, but I'm only 89,998,000 people away. So I mean, I give him credit. He's pretty funny at times. Sometimes it's kind of stupid, but he had another meme that was do you know the way? I don't know if you guys remember that, like in an African accent. And it was a bunch of Sonic the Hedgehog's like little sidekick. I forgot the dude's name. They were playing. It would be like in a Minecraft game. Everybody would be like these little like Sonic things. Somebody touch a Miss Niagara's Roman Zafian. See, it's popular in Italian to not pronounce the last syllable. So, like, you know, some people say ricotta, Italians say ricotta. Knuckles, that's it. Yeah, a bunch of knuckles running around. Do you know the way? You are a queen. Come with us. I remember that because even though I really don't keep in touch with like those kind of games, like I just found it hilarious. If I find something hilarious, I don't care like what age group it's from. Like I will enjoy watching it. Phoenix Vafanculo. Yeah. Because Chris, you're half Irish, half Italian, right? Or are you fully Irish? Because Fallon's an Irish name, so I forget. I remember you telling me like a long time ago. Somebody touching my coconut. Oh, Irish? Okay. I did the ancestry thing. 56%, no, 54% Irish, 40% Great Britain, Europe, and 6% Norwegian. Blood type is pizza. You got the marinara through the veins. And there's plenty of Irish guys like us that people would think were Italian if they didn't know. So. I had actually a guy who found me on the YouTube videos, found me and he, oh come on, let's make this. This is like a 3-minute wait if I don't make it. Ah, fuck my life. I should have just gone anyway. Just yellowed it. Yeah, I've seen 1 or 2 Jacksepticeye eyes. I am not Italian. I am 50, according to Ancestry DNA, I'm 54% Irish, 40% British, Scottish, Northwestern Europe, mostly British and Scottish, and 6% Norwegian. Like my mom is 89% Irish, so my dad is probably like, like has a little bit of Irish in him, but like he's mostly British and Dutch, and Norwegian. My dad's mother was, you would think she was like either like like an old Jewish grandmother or an old Italian grandmother the way she was, but she was, my great grandfather was an oil speculator out in Oklahoma back in like the turn of the century. It's kind of cool. I didn't even know about that until like 3 months ago. 50% Grand Marnier. Yeah, I just haven't gotten this whole weekend has been kind of just a blow by. I was out at a friend's place selling seeds, and then a storm came, and I was there till like 10 o'clock, and then get up first thing in the morning, start a yard sale, bring it back out, sleep a little bit, and then it's kind of just like in a daze, and went to sleep at 1, which is early for me. Got back up, did the yard sale. Yard sales are really boring if you're not making any money off of them. So I don't know if I could do a Russian accent. I gotta kind of think about it. I don't know if I can do I can't do. I need to do something different than that. I can't really. Dylan, I don't know what I have for dinner. I forgot to bring something to eat on the way, like just like a Nutri-Grain bar. So I ate plenty of food for lunch, but I'm probably gonna end up having Wawa because it's gonna be the only thing open at. Let's see, I'm gonna get to my mom's around 9:20 ish. I'll probably be there till 11. Then I gotta go to my sister's, drop off this pole saw, and then I'm coming home. So So Wawa seems like the only feasible option. Nothing really else is really open then. Yeah, I'm starving now too, kind of. I don't have any bottle seeds right now, but I have similar seeds, and I will send you. You know, when you get your PO box ready, man. Well, I gotta thank you, Brandon. Brandon, we'll definitely be making a shirt out of that. And you know, I was telling you, Brandon, as soon as like tomorrow, I'll start being a little more free. I just did a bunch of seed orders this evening, and then I will be. I think your idea of that site, I think that sounds good to get a sample and kind of get an idea of what people would want. If you would want a T-shirt, let me know. Like, I want to get a tally of just how many to kind of make. I'm not trying to like make like money off of this thing, like, you know, for the effort, maybe like a few bucks, but you know, if it catches on, then yeah, I'll sell more of them. But I don't know how many people want a picture of my face on their body. But if they want to buy them, then I'm not going to not sell them, you know. I'm self-aware that, you know, not everybody will get the joke. But if anyone who's in the Palms might like it, so. It was well received on my Facebook page. Yeah, there are some Italian spruce and junipers around here. Yeah, that would be good. I would love to do that, Dylan. My only concern is that there isn't like enough of a demand for that. But maybe if I can make maybe I need like some sort of fashion designer to kind of help me out. Zach, that sounds good. I don't know if Wawa's a big company. I can see Wawa telling me thanks, but no thanks, but you never know. I did check it, Zach. I answered your question. Yeah, you're right. If I can make more than a shirt, and like maybe like, you know, a couple other things apparel that's maybe like Miami oriented or like tropics oriented, and it isn't like cheesy and it looks like well done. Like, Brandon, that was really well done. Like, I did not expect it to be that nice because, you know, it's easy to copy and paste, but you added a lot of like things that made it unique and desirable, such as like, you know, the red on the sunglasses is like perfect. That can be printed out a shirt that way, as well as the palm that comes out of the H is, it looks like a real palm, not a fake palm. It looks like it could be like a carpoxylon. You know, there was once a Palm Con. It was called Palm Fest. It took place in the 90s and the 2000s, and then it just stopped in 2007 in Jacksonville. If David comes on, he can talk more about it, but I've been talking with him about starting up the Southwest Florida Palms. He got his typical lane here, but so is that a camo painted Chevy Colorado? It looks like it's a company car. Okay, it's a wrap. Can you take off a wrap off a car and it's the paint still intact? Is that possible? I hope it would be, because it seems like that would be like pretty risky. It actually is a pretty good wrap. It's nice and glossy. It's, well, good detail to it. Now look at this cop. Someone needs a job. You don't want to sit in a field all day playing around on your computer. You like that, Bobby? I'm glad you do. Yeah, because I've seen some pretty high-end cars wrapped, like, you know, like Lamborghini Huracans and Nissan GTRs, and I figured people wouldn't do that unless they would come off properly. Yeah, I've spray canned a car before. I did it on a Toyota Corolla and a Honda Accord. It's 50 here. I'm still in a city. In Florida, the rule is if the max speed limit on a non-interstate road is 65, that's going to be outside of. It has to be a divided highway. It can't be like just two lanes that are like a two-lane road. Like this road coming up can't be 65. It can only be 55. I think it might be able to be 60, but it can't be 65. And then on the interstate, it's 70, but I've never heard of anyone getting pulled over doing under 85 miles an hour or so. Actually, under 90 for that matter. Yeah, it's the same thing here. Exactly. I mean, this is a two lane. The two lanes are 55. Like in Miami, crap! I thought I lost my wallet. In Miami, the speed limit in a lot of the city areas is like 55 or even 50, but nobody pays attention to the speed limit. Brandon can tell you, the lower the speed limit is on a expressway, the faster people go. I mean, people do like 85, 90 on the Palmetto, which is a 55 and 65 zone. Brandon, I'm just going to guess you don't live too far away from the Palmetto and know the ins and outs of it, so. The Capo of Copernicia. That could be another shirt in itself. The Prince of Penangas. Or the Prince of maybe something a little bit more robust. Yeah, I'm hoping to not have to deal with any like crazy driving tonight. Just a relaxing drive. No one drifting around corners in a Charger, although that was kind of cool because there wasn't anyone around. I mean, it was a made Manikensis. Nice. If I can find a Palm that has like Manjeckia, I could do a made Manjeckia. That is so good. You're good with those puns. I mean, I guess I could think about it a little more, but. Manjeckia matterbongsii is that new species out of Indonesia, or I'm sorry, Papua New Guinea, Jersey style. I always wanted to be a member of the North Jersey mob. They wouldn't take me in because I have zero Italian blood in me. This guy's driving a Porsche, not going fast enough. Hello. Oh, it's Mercedes, I'm sorry. Yeah, that poker game. Just like, hey, Spider, you said Spider, shut the fuck up, Spider. Go get me a drink. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck myself? That's not from God, it's from, you remember from Goodfellas, that scene? That was probably like one of Michael Imperioli's best first roles. Yeah, a tortoise lives longer than a human, usually like 100 years, 150 years, I believe. Oh, it was hot in this car, now it's not, thank God. Okay, so Zach, I've got pretty much all the sables. The only sable I don't have seedlings or seed of is Sable Urusana, for the most part. Everything else I either have seedlings or seed of. I mean, I don't collect Sable Palmetto seed, but if you want some, I can do that. Sable Urasana probably wouldn't do well in Tennessee because it likes drier conditions. It's native to North and Central Mexico. I do have needle seeds, and I don't have any palms because I haven't germinated yet. They take a while. But the seeds are fresh and they're sitting in a compot. I can dig them out and give them to you. Some of them might be germinated. I haven't really checked. What else I have is really cool hardy? I have Livistone and Decora seed. It's not that cold hardy, but it's 8B cold hardy probably. Can you guys hear it when I get on the engine, like when I floor it? One thing that I've noticed that people don't do for cold protection that I think would work, because I don't see why it wouldn't, honestly, is cutting off all the leaves at the end of summer and making sure that they're cauterized. There's cops on this median. Once I get off the median, I'll show you. And then letting the palm kind of like go into hibernation, put less stress on the roots and everything, and then it's much more wrappable of a plant if you I hate to say it, but if you hurricane cut it. So I mean, if you're not really going to enjoy it wrapped up anyway, you might be able to grow a few more cold sensitive things that way. Person's just not going fast enough for me. Yeah, you can do it to Royals. The thing is, the crowns on Royals are so flexible. You can wrap them up all the way to their vertical. So I wouldn't worry about that. It's more the fan palms that like put out a big crown, like Sables and Livistonas, Copernicias. Yeah, Brandon. From what I've noticed, unless you're a known coke dealer with coke actually on you, doing over 120, or you're like gonna blow like a .20 on a DUI, cops don't really bother you for like traffic stuff because they're not gonna make any real money off of that. I'll tell you guys a Miami-Dade sheriff story. About 10 years ago, Ken had a Cadillac 99. Yeah, I wish I could get warnings like that. Yeah, dude, that menu, I didn't see everything on it, but I've only had dim sum a couple times. My dad used to have a partner, or a Chinese guy I used to trade with in the late 80s. We went to a great restaurant in New Jersey, and I've never seen a dim sum restaurant in Florida. I'm sure I know they exist, but people tend to just go to like New York style Chinese, which is really just fast food. I mean, yeah, it tastes good. Do I like it? Of course I do. But can I eat it all the time and still like have a livable blood pressure and cholesterol level? No. So, but yeah. So the story is Ken was driving somewhere where someone actually managed to back into his Escalade and bump, and it like they bent, like it was a minivan or something, and the lady gets out and she's like, "Oh, you hit me," and Ken's like, "No, I wasn't even moving." It's like, "Well, your car is much bigger, I couldn't see it." And then I guess she made a phone call. The next thing you know, this Dade County Sheriff shows up, and he's like, "You hit my wife. She has neck pains now." So they tried to pull like the whole thing, and she had bruises, and it turns out like he had been like beating her, and they tried to like get him for whatever they could try, but it was thrown out in court. Just an example of this, how much you can trust the cops in Dade County. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. I'm a starving human too, but I didn't bring anything with me, damn it. Yeah, you do dim some and you lose some. There's also another thing. It's kind of like a large version of dim sum. It's called baozo or baozu, and it's like a big. It's basically like a big handheld dim sum, steamed bread with meat inside, like a big dumpling you can eat. I'm not pronouncing it right. Baozu, Baozu. It's a Cantonese thing, so it's mostly in Guangdong province. I love wonton soup if it's good. If it's bad, if it's like chewy wonton and the meat tastes like it's 4 weeks old, then I'm not a big fan. Yeah, for every 10 Florida Chinese restaurants, there's one good one. Like there's only one I'll go to in Cape Coral. The one near me serves like, I mean, what I usually do is I try like signature dishes. Like any Chinese restaurant should make a good General Tso chicken, sesame chicken, what else? Kung Pao chicken, sweet and sour chicken, Mongolian beef, even though it's not even Chinese. Yeah, the best Chinese restaurant, New York style Chinese restaurant I know of is in Miami. It's actually at Miller Place there at 137 and Miller. It's called China. Oh, it's called China Palace. The people there are super nice. They like to talk to me whenever I'm there. The food, they get a lot of food. I mean, it's like $12 for a combo meal, but you get extra food, extra pieces of ribs. Yeah, I can't imagine Chicago wouldn't have a similar selection of food to New York in every manner. And I'm surprised surpass it in certain areas. Like, I'm sure the Polish food in Chicago is better than it is in New York. Probably have better like German, like a lot of Midwestern, influence. So a lot of good German, like Finnish, Swedish restaurants probably better than that in New York. Because most people from like the Nordic countries went to Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, Michigan. Dude, I haven't had pizza in a while, and now like I kind of want it. Robbie, I have had Palm Heart salad, but even more so, I've actually chainsawed down palms that were knocked down in hurricanes, and we just cut out the palm hearts and we just eat them raw. You'd add like some vinegar or some oil, like, kind of like you would in a salad, like a vinaigrette. Okay, Mexican's good too. But yeah, I mean, it's fresh palm hearts. It's a whole different food than, yeah, red wine vinegar. I mean, this is after Hurricane Charlie. My buddy just had like all these down palms. I can tell you what tastes good and what doesn't. A coconut palm heart really doesn't taste that good. Royal palms are good. Washingtonies aren't bad. Sables are really good. That's why they call them like swamp cabbage. Swamp cabbage is just sable palmetto palm hearts for the most part. Anything that's immature on the palmetto, they will boil it and eat it. I think I figured out why I feel like I'm getting tailgated. All these newer cars with adaptive cruise control, like you can adjust it so you can actually tailgate someone like properly. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I mean a lot of palms, they will grow for harvest like that. Sometimes like smaller ones, once they get some trunk, they'll cut it out. If they're sustainably done, then I'm not against it. Palms are probably the most, like, if there was one family of plants, obviously I would want palms to like be like around in the world, but not just because I like them, but if you think of all the uses of a palm, it's insane. Like besides eating palm hearts, eating coconuts, eating the fruit of many plants, Uh, all the palm oils, which unfortunately are kind of deforesting certain areas of Asia. But roof thatching, you can use the spines for sewing needle sewing. What else are they used for? The wax is used for like candles and for other like stuff like gums. People will boil down to make palm sugar, which they use a lot in Cambodia, Vietnam, and Thailand. The trunks are used. You can use trunks to make tikis or houses out of. You could live off of palms if you had to. I'm not saying it'd be like the best life ever, but yeah, copra, the inside meat of the coconut. It's very hard for me to get tired of eating coconut. I mean, oftentimes I've been to Chinese restaurants where there are people from other parts of Southeast Asia. Like my favorite Thai restaurant is, hey David, what's up? My favorite Thai restaurant, the main waitress there is actually from Malaysia, but Malaysia and Thailand share a lot in common. I mean, a lot of things they don't, but Malaysian food tends to be a little bit generally spicier, more meat oriented, I believe. Oh yeah, I forgot you can make wine out of palms. Palm wine is there's a lot. We had India, South America, most of Southeast Asia. He would eat sable miners, like the leaves, like everybody eat the hearts. I talked to Shiv on WhatsApp. He seems like he's busy, but he's helped me out. Yeah, it actually smells nice. It smells like kind of like a light peach. Yeah. Phuket is. I find that I mean, Thai, like all Thai food, but from what I'm told, that northern Thai food is like heartier and spicier. And then also, if you get to the southern parts of the country in Penang, they're near the border between Malaysia, that it also gets spicy. Hence the Penang curry, usually spicier food. I know it is palm cannibalism, but since it is a accepted, thing to eat. I prefer to grow palms that don't require to be chopped down to eat. What is going on here? This guy's decided to slow down to 10 miles an hour because there's a tractor trailer. I think the guy's got a blown tire or something. Yeah, he's okay. He's like, no hurricane, just tons of heat. If you look at where he lives, that area, the average high and low now, the high is like 106 and the low is 82. It's brutal. Scotch bonnet. That sounds so familiar, but I couldn't tell you what it is. That sounds like... Oh, the peppers. Yeah, that's it. Okay. See, I'll give you a pro tip. Just roll into a intersection, and there you go. You don't have to brake. Get the jump on any cars that try and cut you off. That's a Florida thing. If I were like in Virginia or Louisiana or something, Texas, probably wouldn't have to worry about it. Well, no rolling. stop right. I was hoping to get like the sunset view here over the bridge, but we're just gonna get the end of the twilight. Give me 1 sec here. I just want to make sure, because we're in this kind of a downtown area, I want to make sure that good part is there's very little traffic, so this guy's decided to cut me off and not the person next to me. Alright. Let me know if you guys can hear the engine. I just am curious. Kung Pao has those chilies too, and cashew chicken if you get it hot. Yeah, I can take a picture of it, Zach. It might be in the dark with a flash. There are lights there at my mom's place, but they only light up so much. The palm fajada. Might start getting some. I might start getting some federal agencies looking into me if I start using names like that, but you never know. Oh, father! I thought you meant like, you meant father. Okay, I thought you meant like the Intifada, like the war in the Middle East against, the Jewish people or whatever, against colonialism, like pro-Palestine. Now I get it. No big deal there. The Mutta and the Fada. I remember when I first started seeing foxtails, Bobby, like when I came down here, I was like drooling over them. I'm not saying I still enjoy them. I think they look great. Oh, you can hear I just didn't know how much. I mean, it's not like it has, there's no modification to this vehicle. You can get a supercharger for it, but it brings the horsepower from 285 to about 375. It's $4,000. I don't know. The problem with communism is when you don't want people to not be communist, usually the countries don't want to let go of their power. Leaders don't like letting go of power unless they're threatened with their life. Ask any Central American country in the 20th century. If you guys want to read a good book, it's not a very happy book, but it's very well written and it's very informative. It's called A Century of Genocide. And it talks about all the genocide that took place in the 20th century throughout the world. Yeah. Occasional Cortez. I just like, I know it's a misspelling. It's just the way that that's hi, my name is Occasional Cortez. Yeah, father like father. Now I get it, yeah. Because like the Intifada is like when people call, it's like basically a call to arms, like a mini crusade of the Islam people. I studied that a lot in college. No, it was good, man. It was better than even her saying her name. That should be her new nickname, the Occasional Cortez. No, I love foxtails too. It's just that if I came up and I was like, man, look at those Douglas firs, man, those are nice. Like, look at the color on them. You're like, yeah, they're nice. I see them all the time though. Yeah, chickens. The problem with Illinois is I feel like they kind of violate the federal constitution a little too much. But they have the FOID cards, which I think are kind of like unconstitutional. I don't want to get too political, but you know, some things are just funny. I'm willing to listen to anyone's point of view. I feel though that like, unless you're talking to like people that you know very well in person, that you're never going to change anyone's point of view. And I feel like if I talk about too much politics, I will turn too many people away from like Palms. So that's my main concern, really. That's the only reason I don't like discussing it. Not because I don't feel like a discussion can be had, but yeah, like for example, I'll give you guys an example of some of the good and the bad of like the rules in Florida. Like in Florida, you know, there was a what's it called? There was a guy at the yard sale that I didn't advertise, but like a lot of yard sales, people like to buy guns because they're private sales. Usually they can get a good deal. And I just had an extra one that I was going to sell, and someone actually asked, and he was a weird guy. Like he was this normal middle-aged guy, like, you know, clearly like had like a family and kids, but he was like wearing really tight running shorts, real tight shirt with like this strapped GoPro, like almost like a body cam around him. It was kind of like a little bit weird that he would bring a body, like almost like body cam himself to a yard sale. And he asked if I had any guns for sale. I said, yeah, I have one, you know, let me go get it out of, you know, and I'll come back, I'll call you inside the house. And, you know, I showed it to him. I showed him it had never been shot or anything, and I bought it and I just haven't used it. So I just wanted to sell it. And, you know, he's sitting there playing with it, and I can tell that he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's calling the parts by different names that he shouldn't be. And I was like, you know, so I threw out a price that like would be like nearly what it would cost new, even though it hadn't been shot. And so like it was $220, it's $225, and he's like, oh, you know, will you take $150? And I'm like, no, I just, you know, I don't need to sell it. So, but the thing is, you know, you can't do that in Illinois. You need a car, you know, you need a special car to carry like ammo, much less like, you know, getting your, you know, handgun carry is illegal. Not that I really, I mean, listen, whenever I drive around you guys, I rarely carry a gun. I would like to make sensitive issues less sensitive. You know, I'm out in the open about it, but I'm willing to listen to people that, you know, and I'm not like, I don't think people are dumb for not thinking the same way I do. They have their own reasons for doing so. Like when I was 15 years old, I had a gun put in my face, and I got robbed in the back of a car of a person I trusted. I didn't know any better. I mean, the guy went to jail for 10 years. He was in a Cambodian gang. Yeah, Zach. And the thing is, it is true, Zach, but again, it's at the same time, it's not. A lot of it is just gang violence, and that's gonna, like, those people are gonna have, you know, if you don't go to a certain part of Chicago, it's actually a very safe city, just like New York is. But this one, you know, the South Side area, I mean, they kind of just let themselves just take each other out. Or Dylan, you live in Chicago. I'm just going on what I have kind of gathered from people who live there. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with the 22-250. That's an old school round, but yeah. Yeah, no, Dylan, that's why I was saying is, besides the amount of people that Chicago have, plus if you cut out small parts of, like, you know, areas, the city itself is like probably cleaner than New York. And, you know, that area there, or is it? Okay, just making sure. I mean, I'm not, the reason is because I worked in a pawn/gun shop for 6 years part-time. So like I'm pretty familiar with like the gun laws of each state. And I've had people come from around, you know, a lot of people from Chicago come down here for the winter. I had during the scares of the gun scare of like 2000 2009, 2010, when people couldn't, like, you could sell an AR-15 for like a lot of money. Guys that come down from New York and try and buy. I had a guy come in. He's like, we had 5 AR-15s. They wanted to buy all of them. And I was like, you get them a Florida ID to buy a gun from a pawn shop. And he's like, is there anything that can be done about that? I'm like, well, you can get a Florida ID, but I'm not going to get arrested for, selling you guns. And he was just like getting really mad. He's from upstate New York. It really sucks. I mean, to me, it's more of like, this isn't the gun channel, and I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just telling you my experiences. Yeah, and that's the problem, is like when there are very strict laws, people will go outside of the laws to do things. Like, for example, the biggest example of that is prohibition. There were never higher death rates and overdoses of like crappy alcohol than during prohibition. And America has a culture that guns will kind of always be a part of, I believe, and it'll take generations to move away from that, if ever. So, but I haven't bought a gun in 2 years. I haven't gone to the range in 5. I don't find it that much fun. But during the hurricanes and stuff, people come and loot. It happened during our yard sale, we had people come that were from Panama City. The 3 people together never knew each other beforehand. They like met through like living in shelters, decided to come down to Cape Coral, and they were looking for like clothes and everything still now. And they said that like when they were there, the cops were like, we can't help you out. Like we're barricaded in, we can't go anywhere. We can't really respond to emergency calls unless it's by helicopter. So when that happens and like you're on your own and you got people trying to loot your place, and I have a friend in the area that had a string of liquor stores, and there are pictures of him sitting in like knee-deep water with like liquor on the shelves, and him with like a pistol grip shotgun with a sign out front that says, "You loot, we shoot." People just would be like decent human beings and they wouldn't have to deal with all that. So Bobby, why? I'm just curious. How does that make me the Palm Father? Just because my delving into guns? I mean, it's not. It makes sense. I'm just curious. Small town called New. Why couldn't they access the fishing spots around it? Just because they're afraid the bridge is going to get people were going to try to do something to the bridge. I hate using certain words in my YouTube chat because I feel like I'm being watched. And if I say things that may be conjured as like dangerous, then they'll be like, oh, let's flag this person. But I mean, those are cool. Black powder, people like to kind of show them off, like shoot them. And they're kind of cool. I mean, they're not dangerous. I mean, they're dangerous in the sense of like you don't pack them right, but it's more of a hobby than it is anything else. We used to carry black powder stuff. I've never worked with black powder, and I don't want to you can't really blow yourself. You can burn yourself badly, but I don't really want to get involved in that if I don't know what I'm doing. Why is that light flashing? Yeah, and I know that Canada has basically kind of similar gun laws to the most restrictive U.S. states. And there are certain states that I wouldn't want to live in, not because of just their I don't really care as much about the gun laws, but more about high taxes, high other just restrictive things. In Florida, doing business in Florida is a lot easier than doing business in say California or New York. Arizona is good, Nevada is good, Texas is good, Louisiana is good. I don't want to scare off I have a lot of friends, people that live in Australia and Europe, that think that I'm slightly crazy because I do own firearms, and I don't want them to think I'm a crazy American. So this is Yeah, Tennessee is good for doing business. I remember after 9/11, Zach, I went home for a long weekend. I'd actually had to pick up my friend from just north of New York City. I could still see the smoke plume from the city. I was in college in Connecticut. Then we couldn't get through the city, so we had to drive around to the ferry that goes from Connecticut to Long Island. And there was like 10 cops in the ferry, like just making sure that no one was suspicious was there. So, oh, the cartels in the 80s. Yeah, one of the best shows I've ever seen, honestly. If you guys want to watch on Netflix, Narcos. I'm sure most of you have seen it if you know about it. But it talks about the stories of Pablo Escobar and like how he came to power, like first kind of like from a first person view, really. There's also Narcos Mexico, which goes like talks about the Mexican cartels of the starting in the 80s. But do you guys know that Pablo Escobar actually wrote off 10% of his money, cash, to just loss because it would either be destroyed by water or by rodents or eaten up by the soil when they would bury it? Considering his net worth was $22 billion at its height, that's $2.2 billion written off. Just to the cash falling apart. I've actually done quite a bit of research on him. Being the Palm Father, I have to know, my other people that enjoy palms. In fact, there's also a wild colony of hippopotamus now that have escaped from his compound and now are roaming the wild in the Colombian, in the valleys there in Colombia. Zach, it wasn't that I had to put money up front. In fact, the way that I got kind of screwed on that was really just accepting what I thought was a good deal because at the time I needed the money, but really being taken advantage of. The whole repo idea is more of just a way of getting that money back. I actually talked to Ken today. I've been through Messenger a few times. He asked to talk to me about making things right, and I said, I don't know if that's possible, but I'll think about it and get back to him. In a nice way. Just not sure I don't know where to start, really. That's my main problem. Yeah, he once burned $2 million for his daughter to stay warm when they were hiding out. We're in Northport. Northport actually used to be called Northport Charlotte until 1974, 75, and they wanted to disassociate from Port Charlotte and be more of like in their own city, so they just called it Northport. But there's no port, really. There is the Myakka River, but it really isn't this is kind of like downtown Northport right here. This didn't even exist like 10 years ago either. Well, the Home Depot was here, but this whole plaza, they call it Cocoa Plum. There's a lot of good restaurants in there, actually. Yes. That Volkswagen Beetle is not stock. I like Beetles. I don't care what anyone else says. Old or new. As long as they've got a nice engine in them. I like the old school ones. But yeah, it is an investment. I think when I was, 10 years ago, before I kind of like delved into the poker scene, I was a much more trusting person. And I think it's just because in New York, I just didn't have to worry about, you knew who you could trust. And in Florida, you don't know who you can trust. It's a nice Mustang. Nice. So that guy's properly driving his Mustang, even though the taillights are a little weird. Or like, supposed to. Does this say fun? Is that what he did to the? See that? F-U-N? See how he's taking some of the lights out there? That's kind of cool. I've never been to Memphis or Nashville. I've only been in Chattanooga. And that was only for a day. I've been to Cleveland overnight. I want to see this Mustang in action. Fun LOL. It says fun LOL. See that? That is fucking hilarious. Or run LOL. Oh my god. Can someone get a screenshot of that? I gotta get a screenshot of that. I can't do it while I'm driving, so I'll get it in the replay. But that is hilarious. It either says fun or run LOL. I don't know how they thought that one up, but that is awesome. If I can get to a stop light with this guy, I'm gonna be like, how did you do that? I'm just gonna kind of roll with him, and then hopefully I'll have to stop and he'll be right next to me. That's the kind of car incidents that I want. I want to see like originality. Here we go. Okay, hopefully this will be long enough that I can kind of talk to him. I'm hoping that this will be long enough. Usually I don't accelerate to a stoplight, but oh, damn it. Alright. So I can't talk to him while he's driving because the revving of the engine's gonna. And I'm not gonna speed through this town because. Let me just see if I can kind of. I only got a few more stoplights until I gotta turn for my mom. So. Come on, man. Turn red. Turn red. Never I want a stoplight. Turn red. Yeah, it says fun LOL. When he's at a stoplight, it either says run or fun. No, so close too. I'm sure he just took out some of the bulbs. I mean, I imagine that's what happened. Here we go. Oh man, I'm just gonna be able to roll up with him too. Maybe I'm trying to figure out a way I can get there with him. I got people to my right. I can't cut them off. He's gonna take off too. There you go. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate that. No problem, Brandon. Everyone's got a life. Hold on. Let me see if I can't get over here. Oh, no, I still can't get close enough to him. That is awesome. I think it's meant to say run, LOL. Because when you're going, the brake lights aren't on. I mean, like the inner bulbs are not on. Let's see what happens here. It's probably a bad idea to burn out right here. See, it says run LOL. Now that is original and creative. I like that a lot. And I'm pretty sure you couldn't get pulled over for that either. Let me see if I can. Ah, damn it. Slow. No, Fiat. Don't do this to me. I need this. Alright, we got this light, and then I got, that's pretty much it. This is the last light before. Anyway, Anyway, I'm sure he lives around here. I can get a screenshot of that and post it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Come on. Tell me there's someone behind. Okay. Might get real lucky here. I think we can do it. If this light can stay. No. Don't do that to me. Oh, I've lost my. Hey man, those brake lights are awesome.
Thank you.
I love it. Did you just take some bulbs out?
It's electrical tape.
Okay, cool, man.
Thank you.
Actually, they're more running lights, but. So, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but he said it was electrical tape. Which is kind of like, I mean, the cheap way to do that. I mean, that Mustang could be up to 10 years old, so maybe it could be, you know, like, I don't even know if that could be a V6 10-year-old Mustang. It doesn't seem to take off like a V8 Mustang, so going towards like the older type. He was definitely like not that old either, so. I thought he might have actually taken the bulbs out, which would have been like, I mean, I'm sure that's completely legal. I don't see why it wouldn't be. If a cop pulled him over and gave him a ticket for that, and that guy just doesn't have a sense of humor. Yeah, it was, Zach. That's a perfect screenshot. Thank you. Zach got me a screenshot of that. I'm pretty sure he was shirtless too. Which in Florida is actually pretty acceptable. I've gone shirtless through some drive-throughs and driving around, like, just to go places, like to drop someone off somewhere. If I don't have to get out of the car. Okay, cool. I don't think it's a brand new Mustang. I think it's an older one. I think it's, I mean, older meaning like it's probably like 10 years old. He's gunning it right now, and it's not like going like a V8 Mustang. I mean, it could be brand new. I don't know. People do weird things with new cars. And you never know how much money somebody has in Florida, even if they do live in like in a, you know, lower income town. Hey mom, what's up? I'm about 10 minutes away. I'm at River Road and 41 right now. Can you see that? Yeah. I mean, if you can get a Mustang that is, I mean, you can get a 10-year-old V6 Mustang. I think that body style came out in 2010, 2011. Maybe even earlier than that. Maybe, yeah. So those are 10-year-old vehicles. Okay, go back to Elton John then. You'll explain later? I don't know, what do you need to explain? Uh-oh. Hopefully there's nothing... Anyway. I mean, those could have, you know, 100 and something thousand miles. I mean, those could be had for like, you know, $8,000 to $10,000, I could imagine. I think they still have like 300 horsepower. I mean, the V6 Mustangs. Oh no, I don't think that's happening, Zach. But lots of brights, no brights. Turn your brights off. Thank you. This is not the road to put your brights on. 2 lanes, lots of little turnoffs. Not lit up. They call this River Road because it runs along the Myakka River. It's kind of the edge of Venice. Oh, I mean, I no, I should laugh more. I guess I'm just a little bit tired. The more I get, once I get delirious, and I'll laugh more about very weird stuff. But I will be on later, guys. I'm gonna probably be with my mom till 11 Eastern, and then I'll be going home, and I'll probably be, on till after midnight. Hopefully, get some of the Australian crowd in. There's always one of my favorite groups of guys to come and hang out, like Dan and Mercury, who I haven't seen in a while. There's a lot of nice, like, little houses on the right-hand side, but it's really low-lying, and it's actually very chilly out here in the... What? Oh, I thought that guy was going around that Jeep. It's hard to tell. The lights were, like, lined up. Yeah, that one guy. I enjoy Australian, British, South African humor. I'm not saying I don't enjoy American humor. I think that we're all hilarious as well. Like, German humor isn't that funny to me. I get it. I just don't think it's like, I'm not gonna laugh at it. There's some stuff that's kind of funny, but like, I just find Brits and Australians very witty. Great holy on the black market. Well, I hope I go for some good money. That must have been an accident. I'm sure that sometimes Zach just mashes buttons, like when he plays Madden with his friends and he loses, he just mashes buttons. He's a habitual button masher. Okay, that's what happened. Sometimes you get guys that like browse live streams and they'll come on and they'll talk about something like completely off topic, and like, I want Clyde to be on this chat. I just need to like have there's like there's parameters to talking live. Sometimes people will be watching with their kids, like greenskeepers, and I'm sure he doesn't want suddenly like some weird stuff to come on, and it doesn't, but it's not really, he might find it funny, and maybe we find it funny like in our heads a little bit, but it's not appropriate for, I guess in the end that's kind of up to me. And that's why you're not a mod. But yeah, I mean, that's what mods are given powers for. I actually used to moderate a poker forum on Twitch. God, that was disastrous. I actually don't, I can view them if I want to. I'll view this one, I'll tell you. Okay. Yeah, I guess I can see them in the end. I mean, sometimes they get deleted so fast that I can't, like, if they have no, like, real value to them, they should be deleted. Why would everybody go away? Rocket Man. Wonder if that's what my mom's listening to. She said she was listening to Elton John. been watching a couple guys that have gone to North Korea, like documentaries, and a lot of people like showing like the Chinese North Korean border. It's pretty crazy stuff, you know. So, you know, it shows how South Korea and North Korea, you know, 70 years apart, and South Korea is like, I mean, back, you know, even 20 years ago, if you bought something that was made in Korea, you'd be like, oh, that's crap. I mean, like, buy now. I mean, Samsung is Korean, LG is Korean. I mean, Hyundai makes a good car. It's not, it doesn't hold its value well, but like Ashley's car is, you know, solid. It drives fine. No, I know, you're right. So, you know, you see it versus North Korea, which, you know, they still, you know, it's a privilege to be able to own a car. You know, labor, you know, prison labor camps. I mean, I'm surprised we haven't gone in there earlier. Oh, I mean, I know why we haven't, but and you're right, Pineapple. And a lot of American companies are just not making cars. Like Ford is not making any passenger vehicles after a certain year. Their trucks are good. Their cars just they don't make them as good as the Japanese do. I thought I could have made that light too if I wasn't going so slow. Like if I were to buy a mid-size sedan now, like the only American car that I would look at is a Dodge Charger because I like their styling, and the Hemi is reliable because the larger engines like that are put in the trucks. These smaller engines that, I mean, Ford has done a little bit of you know, R&D on that, but like a Chevy Malibu or a Chevy Cruze, I mean, no offense to anyone that owns them, but they just aren't going to hold their value like a Japanese, like this truck versus like a Chevy Colorado. You know, it'll hold its value better over the years, even though a Chevy Colorado is a real truck. This is just a SUV, the back chopped off. No, you're right. I mean, we basically helped South Korea rebuild everything, just like Japan. I mean, Japan and Germany, and now they make some things they make better than we do. So. Oh, they do. You're right. You know, getting all that extra stuff on the cars is really probably where they make their profit. But they, you know, back in the 90s, they just make these cars that just didn't last long, like Ford Contour, Ford Tempo. Like, those were all, like, terrible vehicles. Yeah, and the Hemi, you know, it's just one of those things where there are some diehard American car people, and that's the way it's always going to be. I've found that the original Hemi, I don't know about the new ones, but the original 5.7 Hemi isn't bad. The 6.2 and the 6.4, whatever it is, I don't know much about, and they probably aren't, you know. Like Dodge makes a Challenger, the SRT, the Hellcat, and the Demon. Those are all cool vehicles, but I just don't know about the long-term reliability of like Chrysler, especially Chrysler. That's why I wouldn't buy a Charger. If they could put the reliability of a Japanese vehicle in a Charger, that'd be awesome. Make it in sunset metallic orange or whatever they want to call it. No, once or twice we've had a couple trolls, like one troll at a time. But anyway, I'm here now. I'll be here till probably like around doing things until 11. But at 11 o'clock I'll be back on Eastern, so 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock, you know, Central and Pacific. He was actually somebody else here. I'm gonna go see my sister drop. Well, I'm not gonna see her. I'm gonna drop off my pole saw to her, and then let's see here. Yeah, Chinese cars are like absolutely terrible. Like they're like horrific. All right, great. I'll check out what I can, especially when I get home. But I'll be back on again like around 11-ish, maybe a little bit earlier, depending on how my mom's feeling. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys in the near future. Thanks, Bobby, Brandon, Zach. Oh, fucking, hey, what is that? Oh, it's not a love. That is a massive moth. God damn. It sounded like a bumblebee right up in my ear. Get the out of here. Hold on. I gotta get out of this car. There's bugs everywhere. Oh.